Hello and welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelley. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Today is a special day because it is the 20th day of the month, which means it is D20, and today what we're going to do is we're going to host another Dungeons & Dragons reading. I started this in November, and what I do is on the 20th of each month I go through and I hold a special tarot and oracle deck reading. It is based a little bit on the Dungeons & Dragons tabletop game, and what it is that when I read cards, I feel like cards are therapeutic. I feel like so much of life speaks to us in symbols, almost the way that dreams do, and I think reading cards is a good way to kind of analyze problems and kind of do a personalized self-analysis. And I feel like the tabletop game of Dungeons & Dragons is very similar as well. I feel like in that game, what you can do is you can create your own personas, and you're in control of a journey. And as you create a narrative, you decide what you're going to do and what your energies are. So the Dungeons & Dragons reading that I hold every 20th is a kind of a mixture of those two elements. What I do is, if this is your first time attending, you would pick a tarot deck, and when you pick that tarot deck, I will go ahead and do a spread. And what I'm doing is kind of pulling your energies. I'm seeing what your story is. And to start the spread, I pick from a fantasy deck called the Raven's Wand Oracle. All of the decks and the authors are in the description box below. If there are any publishers of these decks, those are also listed in the description box below. And also, if you ever want to, with any of my videos, if you ever want to skip straight to your reading, just go to the timestamp and pick your deck and then go straight to your reading. You can always jump straight ahead to the meat of the reading. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Again, all the decks are in the description box. After you choose your deck, I will pull the core of your story from the Ravenswand Oracle, and then the Sacred Travelers, I'm going to clarify your reading with the Sacred Travelers Oracle cards and the, I believe it's Enchanted map cards. And again, all of the details are in the description box below for the makers of the cards. And what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and pause the video and I'll let you choose your deck. Real quick, the three choices is you have the Anna K Tarot, and with it I have little figurines on each deck. And the first deck is a Pegasus. I got some new dragons while I was at the beach. The second deck is the Witch's Tarot by Dugan, and it's you've got Falcor the Luck Dragon. And then the third deck is the Vice Versa Tarot, and you got this really kind of fearsome looking blue dragon. I really kind of like this guy, but he's a little bit, he's pretty fierce. So I'll go ahead and pause the video and let you choose, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. So let me go ahead, and what we're going to do first is let me begin by pulling your story. So deck number 1, what is their D&D story this month? Ooh, okay, this was poking me in the thumb, so we're going to go with that. Oh, I love that card. That's one of my favorite cards, guys. It has a really good story. All right, so what is the past of this story? Please tell us. Deck number 1. What is the past of our story? Oh gosh, guys, you guys got a couple. Okay, what is the future of your story? And actually, the official description is Sorry guys, it's been a little bit of a long week. I'm sorry to be so lethargic. This is what holds you back, and this is what brings you forward. And then let's go ahead and get the heart, or what I call the dragon's heart of the reading. So what is the heart of this situation? What is the heart? Oh gosh, guys. I'm already getting a story. Look at all this yellow. Look at all this heat. This. Okay, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. This is awesome. And then what is your advice or your guidance? What is your guidance? What is deck number 1's guidance? I'm gonna go ahead and take this one too because it was popping up. All right, and I didn't mention this in the description, but the last stage of your journey is I have dice. I have Dungeons and Dragons dice, and I have it in chakra colors. And that just fell out right on top of justice. So we're gonna leave it right on top of justice. All right, you got root chakra. All right, so guys, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, 1 second. I just gotta grab one thing. Gosh, I'm not prepared today. I apologize. Okay, so let's go ahead and the story. Okay, so the story, your D&D story is Changing Faces. And oh, I love this card. It's such a beautiful card. I've pulled this card when I pull cards for myself each night, or just about each night, and I've gotten this card before. But the story, and it's so beautiful, it's very yin and yang. It kind of shows, you know, receptive and so here we go. Changing Faces. Painted faces brighten any coven festival, and we all wear different faces on occasion, although perhaps not as striking as Lavinia Silverdale's. Masking can help us by covering up our vulnerabilities like a shield, such as wearing a brave face during a crisis or being attentive when we really feel exhausted. A mask can be new clothes or a hairstyle, and these simple things can give us a fresh perspective on ourselves. Would you benefit from stepping out of your everyday routine and being someone else for a while? Wow, look at that, guys. I love the fact that you have like a dark tree and a light tree, and then you have the juxtaposition, like it's like opposites, then the dark bird and the light bird, and she's just this perfect mixture of the two. So that's a beautiful message. So your story, your D&D journey right now is, it talks about wearing a mask, almost like, you know, wearing a brave face, and how it feels like wearing clothes, or, you know, it's kind of giving, you know, it's kind of like Halloween, if you've ever, or, you know, not even Halloween, but if you've ever worn a kind of a different outfit to work, or, you know, not too long ago, I got these, I really liked these big earrings that I saw, and normally that's not my style. It's not something that I normally wear, but I just had to have them. I wanted to try something new. But here it's talking about wearing a new face. It's almost kind of like fake it till you make it. It's like, let's try a new persona, even though it might not be how you're feeling inside. You know, kind of, if you want to journey into a new persona, you know, go ahead and do that. You know, go ahead and do that. But what I see here is, what holds you back? What holds you back from trying this new face or trying this new mask is you got the King and Queen of Wands. You got a couple. You got a couple, right? These are counterparts. And you see how much red and gold is in the King, and how much gold, and the Queen of Rods is always seen with sunflowers. She's a very warm and vibrant character. And what it is it the fact that this is your past, or what's holding you back. I really get the vibe as if, and you got more sunflowers over here, guys. Goodness. You've got, I'm really seeing kind of what is a couple. Now this could be, this doesn't necessarily have to be you, but it kind of feels like it's you. It could be that you were, in the past you were a part of a couple. You were either the King of Rods or the Queen of Rods, but you were a part of a duo, right? These two are meant, these two are counterparts. You see that they look like a couple, right? And the way that they wear, you know, the clothes that they wear, and the sun and the sky, it almost looks like he's walking to her, right? And it looks like two parts of the same picture. But basically what's happening is that is what's holding you back, or what's in the past. And what's in the future is you got this bright sun, and you got more sunflowers at the bottom there. It's just, and the sun card in tarot is that yes card. It's the, you know, everything is going to come to light. Everything is, you know, everything's going to work out. It's almost like that, it's that bright, you know, it's that glorious moment when everything works out the way that it's supposed to. Now, underneath the sun is you got justice. Wow, and I hold every Tuesday I hold a series called How to Tarot, and we just talked about justice. And justice is basically, it's a judgment call. It's the balancing of the scales. I just get this feeling as if there's something in this relationship in the past, something that was holding you back. And the crazy thing is, it's hard to see with this much sunlight. You have sun in 3 of these pictures. It's hard to determine what is bad about this situation. I don't even think there's really anything, you know, quote unquote bad about the situation, but something's going to come to light. Something's going to come to light. And you know what it is that I'm almost getting this feeling as if, you know, this mask or this face that you have to put on, or that you're trying on, might be, it might be a new persona. Like maybe the other thing about the King and the Queen of Rods is that they're both very independent people. Rods is fire, and definitely a king of fire or a queen of fire, especially the queen. She's very creative, and she likes to be in relationships, but she doesn't have to be. And definitely it's the same with the king. The King of Wands is very action oriented. He's very spiritual. But what I see is kind of in the past there was some kind of relationship, and it was a very mature one. And I have this feeling as if you're almost trying on a new persona with this relationship. Maybe you've met someone, or you've been dating someone for a while, and you just really feel like you're on the same keel, right? You feel like a good partnership. But the fact that these two are independent, I'm getting this feeling as if you're wondering, you know, whether or not you could kind of make this official, or make this, you know, make this something more. I definitely see in the future, or what's helping you in this situation is just how I'm really getting this vibe as if this relationship feels easy. It's funny, there's a great saying that says, you know, when you're in the right relationship, you'll know it because it's easy. It's just easy. You don't have to fight. You don't have to, like, if you've ever been in a relationship where you feel like every conversation was miscommunication, or every conversation left you feeling kind of meh, either that, or, you know, if you tried to, I always feel like traveling with someone is always a big testament of how compatible you are, because it's like, if you can go on a short journey, it doesn't have to be anything big, but maybe like a day trip or something like that. If you travel well with someone, you know, there can be a good, you know, if you can travel well with someone and there's no drama, because inevitably in travel, you know, something might go wrong. Maybe your flight's delayed, maybe you take the wrong turn, maybe, you know, other frustrating things happen. But anytime you're able to communicate really well with somebody, and it's never a struggle, you know, you're flexible with one another, and it feels easy. But the vibe that I'm definitely getting here is that in the past there was some kind of, there is and I'm getting the feeling like it's a current relationship too, but again, I'm just seeing so much sunlight. I almost feel like you're trying on a new persona. You work really well with this person, whether you're the man or the woman. You work really well with this person, and you look at it, you can see they're kind of standing apart from one another, but they're so alike, even the way that they're standing. And you can see she's very, you know, he's headed her direction, and she's happy about that, right? She's like, okay, let's go on an adventure. Her body is almost turned as if like, hey, follow me, let's go, right? And so I have a feeling that this might be something new for you. Maybe you did, you know, meet someone that you're really feeling that kind of easy camaraderie with. And but with the Justice card, I definitely feel as if there's something in this situation, something about, you know, putting on this face or trying on this new persona is going to bring you a lot of freedom. It's going to be kind of like a liberation, and it's going to be something that you really deserve. That's what I'm kind of getting with the Justice. It's almost like maybe you've been single for a long time, and you just began to think that you would never, never find anyone, and then all of a sudden, you know, you just kind of meet this person, and it can start off as friendship. It doesn't have to be, you know, blazing love, and then you catch yourself, you know, trying on that new persona, trying on that mask, right? You know, saying, could I be, you know, could I be a boyfriend, girlfriend? Can I be a husband, wife? You know, how does that role suit me? And the fact that what I'm seeing is, you know, the heart of this situation, the card that you got as the heart was number 31, and you got dry desert. And then it says, is your life presenting you with opportunities that seem to yield nothing? Have your ideas dried up? You know, does it feel like you're on an endless journey through a dry, hot, lifeless desert? This card reminds you that there are times when you're meant to become resilient as you journey through harsher circumstances. You're being required to conserve your energy until after consistent effort, you reach the oasis that you're looking for. So here it's telling you, you know, this may not seem like the most productive time, but looks can be deceiving. This is the most important place to find that's truly right for you. So yeah, so I have a feeling, and that makes it seem so much, you know, clearer to me now. I have a feeling that, you know, again, this does feel relationship related. Maybe you've been kind of casually dating, or just, you know, you've been spending time with someone. And again, it doesn't have to be, you know, real, you know, heavy commitment, but you enjoy being around this person. But, you know, either in the past before you met this person, or maybe even while, you kind of felt like you were just going and going and going and not getting anywhere, right? For a long time, you felt like you were just this alone person. And again, you see all this light. I'm seeing all this light. Even in the desert here, you see all these golds. And it almost seems like, you know, you can't really see their feet in these cards. You can't see if they're walking on sand or walking on grass. But I do feel like, you know, this time that the heart of the situation is that you feel like you're not getting anywhere. But just know that these experiences are where you're meant to be. The journey is part of it. The journey is part of it. So maybe it is kind of practice. It's practice. Maybe it's not meant to, you know, be, overnight marriage or overnight commit with someone. Maybe it really is just enjoying each other's company and seeing where it goes. But, you know, the heart of it is that you probably felt either alone for a long time, or you just felt like you would never find the right person. And what it's telling you is that what aids you or what brings you forward is, yes, you are going to find the right person. Either that, or even if you're still single, you're going to be happy. You're going to be very, very happy, and it's going to be justice. It's going to be what you've been waiting for, right? It's going to be everything, because if you've done the work, if you've done the work and you just felt like you'd never, never reach your destination, it's almost like the universe knows and is going to judge the situation, and that you're going to have a positive outcome. You're going to have a positive outcome. And I definitely feel like, but it is about kind of putting on a brave face, and I do kind of get a little bit of a fake it till you make it, just keep going, right? This time is not wasted. This time is not wasted, whatever you've been doing in your current circumstance. And then I love your two advice cards are really beautiful. You got Voyage of the Heart, which is love flows through you and to you. And look at how there's a lot of gold in this card too. And then you got Unknown Territory. You are exactly where you're meant to be. Oh my God. And look at this. Look at the way their bodies are turned, guys. That's the other thing. Look at this. Maybe you are the masculine in this. Look at the way his body is turned and the masculine's body is turned. And then, oh, check it out, guys. Synchronicity alert. Okay, so look at how the two masculine figures they look like they're the same direction. And then look at the two feminine figures. They tell me that does not look the same. Oh, wow. Maybe both of you have felt like you have been, going the long route, going the long route. And what we got is your chakra die, you got the root chakra, and your number is 2. From what I understand, it's the top number that you look at. So your number is 2. And now the positive manifestation of the root chakra is about survival. Oh, wow, guys, and look at this. Look at that. Tell me that doesn't scream survival. And then when the chakra is blocked, it's ruled by fear. Now, again, all of the body language seems very, he or she does look a little bit fearful. She almost looks a little exhausted. But what it's just reminding you is that, they always say that, if you love unconditionally, if you put love out into the world, almost the way that she is, because you look at it, this is a really beautiful card. You see water going down and you see a ship, and ships mean journeys. And then you see it comes back up in this swirl of hearts and leaves and nature. And she's just, she looks like Gaia almost. So it might even be telling you to kind of, with all the sun and sunflowers too, I think this journey or where you are right now was to teach you. The other thing is it's also self-esteem. I think you feeling like you're out in the desert and feeling like you'll never get to your destination was meant to teach you some self-confidence, some self-reliance. And maybe in the past you felt like you were really connected to someone and it was just not, you just weren't taking it any further. But what they're telling me is that, in the future, or what aids you, is that sunlight, that you putting that effort in, and you keeping going, and you putting on the face, you putting on the brave face, and you saying, okay, this is who I want to be, and being loving, even if you didn't know where you were going sometimes, just value this time. I know it seems a little bit, and try not to be afraid. Try not to be afraid, because also 2s mean choices too. So it could mean that a choice is coming. It could mean that and look at all the reds. You got reds and golds. You got reds in the Justice. You got red in the Justice, and you got red in the cape of the King. So really it makes me think that justice is related to this person. Maybe you were waiting a long time to kind of see where a relationship was going to go, and you were probably feeling a little alone, but you put on a brave face and you did what you needed to do. But I really feel like you're going to be getting your justice soon. You're going to be getting a happy ending soon. So just don't block any of that energy with fear. I know that's difficult to do, but the other thing about, root chakra is having your needs met. That's the other thing too. I think, I know you hear a lot of people say, well, love yourself first, but, definitely, have your needs met too. Don't settle for any relationship that does not give you what you want. But I definitely see it is kind of just keep keep a brave face and keep going. Keep going, guys. That's really beautiful. I really like that. All right, so we're going to put your chakra die next to your Pegasus. So the next deck, we got Witch's Tarot with Falkor the Luck Dragon. And let's go ahead and let's get your D&D story. We'll put Falkor over there. What is deck number 2's Dungeons and Dragons story? Oh, farewell. Okay. So what hinders this situation? What hinders deck 2? Falkor. What hinders? What holds back? Oh, you saw that? Okay. What? Okay. Can we see? Yes. Okay. What is the heart of our story? What is the heart of... Thank you. Oh. Kind of got 2, guys. Ooh. Oh, wow, that's really positive. That's really positive, guys. And yeah, see, I know. Sorry, I am a little out of it today. You gotta apologize. We did have a lot of readings this week. I hope you got a chance to check some of the other ones out, but I do love doing this, though. It's usually very high energy. So what's our advice? What's our advice for deck 2? You see that it's kind of hanging out there. Okay, just for the record, Fellow Travelers was trying to pop out too. It didn't quite come out, but... And let's get your chakra dice. So, okay, we keep it in the bag. The other one wanted to fly out, but what is our chakra? Ooh, you got the crown chakra and you got number 1. All right, so what is our D&D story? All right, you got farewell. What's beautiful is the dragon in this card almost looks like the dragon for deck 3. I'm just going to hold it up real quick so you can see it. You see this guy? Tell me those two do not look alike. That's pretty cool. I wonder what deck 3 is going to get. Deck 3, the Emperor kept wanting to pop out on top, so yours is going to be a fun one. All right, so deck 2, farewell. We all must let go at some time, or be let go. Isabel Summer is saying a sad but loving farewell to her friend. When a relationship collapses in heartbreak, we dwell on the person we lost, not realizing that by thinking about them so intensely, we keep the pain alive, perhaps for years. Thoughts create feelings, and feelings shape our world. Then thoughts turn to loss, when thoughts turn to loss, direct them towards different matters. It'll be hard at first, but with patience, escaping the prison of destructive thoughts is possible. So here it is talking about, it is talking about a little bit of longing. It's about someone who is letting someone go. Now, what holds you back is the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is a real action card. It's about full steam ahead, and it's about a lot of activity, a lot of opportunities. You know what that tells me? It talks about opportunities, and the fact that it's a hindrance, the fact that it's kind of pulling you back. I have a feeling that there's some kind of situation, and it doesn't have to be romantic, but there's going to be some kind of loss that you went through, or some kind of goodbye that you had to have. Maybe you were going to school at a different college, maybe you're graduating from school and you're saying goodbye to friends, or maybe it was a relationship that was just not working out and you had to say goodbye. But I have a feeling that ever since this situation, you've had a lot of opportunities present themselves, or there's other things in your life that's kind of coming up and saying, hey, you know, you could go do this, or hey, have you called this person, or hey, do you want to, you know, go on that backpacking trip you've always wanted to go on. But I think what's happening is the fact that this is holding you back is that I have a feeling that you're still so kind of wrapped up with the goodbye from this situation that you really don't want to give any time or any attention to. This is kind of holding you back. You feel like this opportunity, you know, either new opportunities are just not interesting to you because you want this old love. You don't want to let go. You don't want to let go of the past. And now what helps you, or what propels you forward, you got the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is a really quite beautiful card. I really kind of liked her depiction in this. She's got lavender in her lap, and she's, you know, definitely, she's got she's got some cute shoes, and her heels crossed, and again, what it is that she's a very intellectual person. She values reason. She doesn't let her heart rule her actions. So these are a little bit, you know, of contradicting cards. Here you have one person who's really in their heart space, and this person, it isn't that she's not in her heart space, but she's just being very logical about it. She's saying, okay, the Queen of Swords is still you know, all queens are nurturing. And, you know, I know a lot of people look at the Queen of Swords and think, oh gosh, she's holding the sword up like she's gonna kick my butt, you know, how can that be nurturing? But what it is that she's nurturing in a mental way. She's very intelligent, she's a very good teacher, she's very smart about things. She almost has that kind of street smarts too, you know how you can be book smart and then you can be street smart, but she's definitely very good about boundaries. And that is one thing that, you know, it's one of those things where if you've ever met someone that you really respect because they do not put up with any mess, they'll like you, they'll talk to you, they'll be attentive, they'll be loving, but don't bring any mess in their world, you know? Don't bring them any drama, you know what I mean? Keep it real, keep it level. That's what the Queen of Swords tells you to do. And what she kind of tells you, though, is that if you're seeing that as the what brings you forward, or what propels you forward, it's kind of telling you that maybe you do not want to hold your heart so much on your sleeve. She is telling you, okay, be a little bit discerning, you know. Yes, saying goodbye is always bittersweet. Yes, it feels really uncomfortable for a while, but, you know, and maybe you really are nostalgic for all of the things that, you know, you did with this person, but just moving forward, try to think about the situation in a little bit more of a logical way. You don't have to be cold about it. The other thing is, if you did say goodbye because of somebody's behavior, just, you know, kind of remember that, you know, if anything happened, it happened for a reason. Now, the heart of your situation is you got two of the most positive cards. You got Golden Palace, and the Golden Palace represents good fortune, ambitions fulfilled, you know, wealth and prosperity. So here it's just saying, you know, that self-worth isn't measured by what you have, no matter how abundant your life is. Instead, it comes from what you are, how authentically you're living your life, and how much love you're willing to share. So again, this it reminds me a little bit of a Ten of Cups card in the tarot, because Ten of Cups, I always say, is it's the card of what money can't buy, right? You know, you can have all of the material things in the world, but if you are not intrinsically happy, or, you know, basically your abundance or your happiness comes from within. It comes from who you are. And the other thing is, I'm seeing themes of being authentic. Like the Queen of Swords is very authentic, and here it's talking about how, you know, success and abundance is not about, you know, material wealth or you know, gaining the upper hand. It's about when you are authentically yourself, and when you're authentic in relationships, your abundance comes, right? So, you know, here in the past, you had opportunities presenting themselves, and they were presenting themselves because you were abundant. You were a giving person. You're loving to other people, therefore the universe will be loving to you. But the important thing is, I keep getting cards that talk about giving and receiving. I've been pulling them at night, and they talk about how giving and receiving is like breathing. If you don't exhale, you're not going to have any space in your lungs to inhale. So it's kind of like that. It's like, in order for you, I think it's really telling you that in order for you to bring in what the universe is trying to bring you, the universe is trying to send you abundance, and it's well-earned abundance. Maybe the other thing that it's showing me is that the other heart, dragon's heart or heart of the situation, is you got commitment. So I think what the universe is telling you is that it wants to send you what you want. You know, it's saying partnerships formed at this time are harmonious and powerful. You know, the commitment card, it indicates the natural evolution of a relationship from its inception to its into a literal or metaphorical marriage. It's at least the promise of fulfillment in some form. So I think what it's telling you is definitely, you know, you have abundance coming to you. The universe wants to give you this commitment. It wants to give you this happily ever after. But you may have to let go of some things in your past in order to let these new things in. And you can see she's kind of holding up like a hand, like, okay, come forth, come forth. And you see it's like back to this. So I really think that the universe is kind of telling you that whatever it is that you need to release, it's like giving and receiving. You have to release in order for something new to come into its space. And what's the new that's coming into the space is really going to be beautiful. It's going to be exactly what you need and want. Now, your advice card is you got wise leader. You are a beacon for others. And look at how strong, I'm shocked. Look at how similar these two cards are. You see two very strong women, you know, they're both holding weapons, but they're leaders, right? They're showing other people the way. And then what I think is beautiful is you got gates of triumph. Success expands your life. So I really think that this journey that you've been on, I think this farewell has been very hard on you. I don't think it's been easy. It has. You've wanted to hold on, but the universe is telling you that you are a leader. You're also a leader for other people. That might be part of this journey. Sometimes maybe, you know, maybe at the time you couldn't have this because the universe needed you to serve another role. But when you serve that role, when you become that leader, you know, for others, if you truly let go, and I'm also getting kind of a feeling of let go and let God. I mean, I really get a feeling of like, release your problems and trust that the universe has your best interest at heart. And I just really think, and it's going to feel uncomfortable, but I'm seeing so many cards of you getting like the grand victory here. So I think if you let go and just continue going, if it is also giving me an air of independence here too. But you definitely you'll get your happy ending and then some, and the universe is really, really eager to give you that. Now, the number one, again, the number one is a powerful number. It's the number of the magician, and it is I am. It's the person. And here again, I'm with the one and the Queen of Swords and the wise leader. I am getting kind of an independent woman vibe here. So again, maybe, you know, this after this letting go, you could be an influencer. The other thing is that swords really rule, they rule intellect, but they also rule media. maybe you write, maybe you are an Instagram celebrity or a YouTube celebrity. But whatever it is that you really influence people, and you influence people in a nurturing way. Remember how I said all queens are nurturers? So I wonder if, this letting go and this, turning over your situation to the universe was really to get you where you were meant to be in that realm, and it really meant to make you independent too, to give you some, because the other thing that this kind of reminds me of is it does seem a little codependent. Anytime you cling on to something, I know that's very difficult to say, but in relationships you really do want it to be two persons coming to the table. You do not want, any one person holding on to the other, because that creates imbalance. Now the chakra that you got is you got the crown chakra. And what it is that when the crown chakra is open, it deals with cosmic energy. It deals with that is the last chakra in the top of your head. It's like the opening to the universe. It's very kind of Piscean in the way that it works, but the fact that I'm seeing, again, I'm seeing golden palace and commitment, and look at the rainbow. It looks almost divine. It looks, almost angelic here. And, the fact that you have the sun coming up, that is the yes card. And look, you're coming out of what looks like such a gloomy and dark place, and the gates are open now. You're no longer trapped. You're walking out into this green, sunset. So again, the crown chakra is about you reaching that conclusion. And I think now that you've become more independent and you've done your own thing, the universe is ready to give you the boons, like the whole kit and caboodle. If you want to be in a relationship, be in a relationship. If you want to have a happy home and family life, you're going to have it. Now, when the crown chakra is blocked, it means ego attachment. And one thing that, when you're attached, I really think that speaks of, again, the difficulty that it is in turning things over to the universe, because you do become afraid. You think, okay, if I'm not in control of things, then things aren't going to go my way. And that is ego. That's ego. The other thing about ego is that ego puts us into roles. For instance, you get into a relationship and you're happy and you're in a loving couple, then you get used to the term girlfriend. You get used to the term boyfriend. You get used to the term husband, wife. And before you know it, you really build that world. You do all the things that a girlfriend does. You do all the things that a boyfriend does. And then if anything happens to that relationship, all of a sudden it is like a little death. It's a death of that persona. It's a death of that ego. And if your ego clings to that, if it says, I don't want to let go of being a wife, then you're not really, again, you're not releasing it to let the universe do the metamorphosis. But what it's telling me is here, all of these cards, and especially with the purple, and the purple in her cape, she's got purple on the flowers, and she's got purple in the cape. I think it's really telling you that if you trust that everything is going to turn out okay, you might not know how it's going to turn out that way, but if you just let it go, and if you learn this new persona, you let go of anything that has to go, and you just kind of move slowly into where you need to be. And you'll know, and again, this is the crown chakra also is one with the universe. It's almost like a conduit with, the higher order of things. It really is. It's enlightenment. And what it is if you're lost or don't know where to go, you can pray to God, you can pray to the universe, you can turn it over and say, I'm not sure where I'm going, but I'm feeling like I'm becoming this person, and just follow that path to becoming that person. And then you'll know that it's right, you'll know it in your senses and in your soul. And then, the universe will definitely turn around, because it really wants to bring you a lot of blessings right now. All right, so deck number 2, that was really powerful. So that is your journey right now. And I've told, and as in with my other D&D reads, not all of the cards are girly. There's definitely some very, very adventurous masculine cards in this deck. All right, guys, so deck number 3. What is your D&D journey? What is deck number 3's D&D journey? Ooh, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna turn this right side up. Ooh, you got kind of a, the bottom of the deck, you got kind of a powerful one, but let's go ahead. This was the one that really flipped, so we'll go with it. Nature of the beast. Now, what holds, okay, so on this journey, what holds us back? What holds us back? Okay, what holds us back? What propels us forward? Oh. You're going forward fast. Sorry guys, I'm just kind of getting a clear picture. All right, and what is the heart of our situation? I'm going to take this kind of a side story. But what is the dragon's heart of our situation? Oh, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna kind of take this in conjunction because this flipped open and this is kind of over here. Okay, and what is our advice? What is our advice? Thank you. All right, can we see? And let's go ahead and get your chakra dice. Oh, 4. To begin, I'm seeing a lot of family cards here because the Chariot is ruled by Cancer, which is the sign of home and family. 4th house is sign of home and family. It's also the 4 pillars in tarot. It's like the 4 wands, which is home. And then you got a big moon right here in moonlight. So. Also the 10 of Pentacles. It's more of a physical, but it is definitely still a stable family life kind of deal. So let's go ahead. And Stuck in the Mud I've gotten before too, or I'm sorry, not Stuck in the Mud, Nature of the Beast. I'm really focusing on that. We'll get into it. We'll talk about that. So Nature of the Beast. Let's go ahead. So Nature of the Beast. Rooter, or Rudy as the witches know him, is a fearsome wild boar that adopted the coven years ago and appears reluctant to leave. Zytheria Berry takes her turn at feeding him kitchen scraps. None of the witches are afraid of him, not because he's tame, but because they respect his nature. He is wild and they do not challenge that. Rooter might be true to his nature, but as humans we do have a choice that Rooter lacks. We can choose to be brutish or civilized, even if that's not an easy choice to make. The decision is ours. So here you see a wild boar that, again, they said, you know, refuses to leave. He hangs out near the coven, but it isn't because he's domesticated. It's because he just doesn't feel like leaving. And all of the witches, you know, they feed him and they understand him, but they know that he's wild. He's not, you know, this isn't like a dog. He can be, you know, temperamental. He can be wild. And so here it's telling us that humans, you know, looking at the boar and knowing that that is, you know, the nature of the beast, we have a choice. We can choose to be wild or we can choose to be civilized. And that really is interesting, guys, because what holds you back is you got the 10 of Pentacles and you got the 9 of Cups. And the 10 of Pentacles is that happy, it's the culmination. It's like, you see that this is a grandfather and he's got his dog and he's got his palace and he's got, you know, and honestly, on the back of this card, I just wanted to show you, it's the inverse, but this is the family card, like sitting in front of him. He's got what looks like a human throne and, you know, he's got family members looking at him. So this is someone who's lived an entire life. He's someone who, you know, might be, you know, affluent in the sense that he made it. He got his home, he got his family, he's got his career, he's surrounded by all the good things in life. And then next to it, you got the 9 of Cups. And the 9 of Cups is that guy with the table with all the cups. It's the boon card. It's the, aha, look at me card, you know? So what holds you back? What holds you back is you seem to be in a good place. You're comfortable. I'm getting a real comfortable vibe here. You've worked hard in your life so far, whatever achievements that you have. And if you look at this too, you can even see the red in his robes. It kind of looks like the little witch who's feeding the scraps, right? It's very similar. It looks very, very similar. But what this is kind of telling me is that, you know, in the past you were comfortable. And that's a very civilized way to be, right? And the core of the story is saying, okay, you know, you can choose to be brutish or you can choose to be civilized. And here I see in the past that you probably chose to be civilized. These are very regal men. You see, you know, they you know, he's very genteel, very civilized, and so is he. But I also, you know, the fact that you've got a lot of emotional fulfillment, you've got a lot of financial and physical fulfillment, I think that puts you in a comfort zone, and that's a good thing. You know, definitely to achieve all that, to have all that in your life is a blessing. The 9 of Cups is a blessing. He almost looks kind of smug when you think about it, but excuse me. What it's kind of telling you is that you kind of have a choice. You have a choice between being uncivilized or being civilized. And I think in the past you have some kind of comfort zone. You have some kind of comfort zone. And when you move forward, or what propels you forward, is you got the Chariot. And not too long ago we did the How to Tarot on the Chariot. If you ever get a chance to watch it, it's very informative. It gives you a lot more insight into the nature of this card. But what the Chariot is full steam ahead. It's movement, right? It isn't like these two guys. These two guys are standing still. They're not even bothering to move, right? You see the one guy's sitting and he doesn't look like he's moving anytime soon. His dog's in his way. The other guy's standing there and he's almost got kind of his thumbs tucked in his belt buckle, like, look at me, you know, got the gold chain that says made it, you know. And here you got someone who kind of went away from his palace, you know, put some armor on, jumped in the Chariot and said, okay, let's go. Let's go. And what I thought is really interesting is that the fact that we're talking about the difference between two parallels, you're talking about being brutish and being civilized, and the fact that the Chariot has two opposite, these are the Sphinx, and what it is one is light and one is dark, but what it is that they like to go opposite directions. Like when you look at them, they're not, the Chariotor, I always say that wrong, Chariotor, he needs to keep the reins where both of the Sphinx is. And against the Sphinx is the riddles of the universe, right? It's the riddles of the universe. He keeps them in tandem with one another, and he uses the parallel energy to propel him very swiftly forward. So now the other, you know, what I see, or the heart of your situation is you got Moonlight. And I really like Moonlight. It's a very positive card. So real quick, so with Moonlight, you got Moonlight beckons. Come and trust your intuition to lead you into places that may not seem logical. Your hunches will be right on target. Resist second-guessing yourself for your alternative perception is especially sharp right now. You can see beyond the surface of things and truly read between the lines. This is a good time to use oracle cards or other systems of divination to gain information. Remember that the language of intuition is a symbolic one. Oh my God, you wonder why I love this card. It comes subtly through a hunch, a tingling, a clear sound, or an animal or object crossing your path. Spirit is sending you messages to help you now. Success is yours if you follow the signs. And guys, let me tell you, because it talks about trusting your instincts, right? Like this is comfortable, right? But it's practical. You know, pentacles are practicality. Cups are emotion, right? It's like, okay, why am I going to leave a comfortable situation? But what it's telling you is, you know, you may want to explore. Follow your instinct. Your instinct is right now. If it's telling you to go, then go. Also, I kind of feel like in this card, in your journey card, I really kind of sense a balance between the two. A balance between primal instinct and a balance between civility. You know, it's kind of like, okay, you don't have to have all one or the other. You don't have to be sitting in your castle doing nothing and enjoying your piles of gold. But, you know, and here you see, what I love about this card is in the upper right hand corner you have the dipper too. But you can charge forward with something, and just, you know, the sphinxes are the riddles of the universe. So, you know, you can really go forward, and because you got an owl there too in the mist there. And, you know, just trust those instincts to move you forward. You see all this moonlight. It looks like he has moonlight glowing behind him too. Now, the other card that wanted to come out was the Knight of Pentacles. And with the Knight of Pentacles, you got stuck in the mud. And oh my gosh. Now, first off, the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight. He gets where he's going. He always gets where he's going, but he takes very plodding steps. You can almost see the horse has all 4 feet on the ground. It's like, okay, how are you going to get anywhere that way, right? And that shield, it looks pretty heavy too, right? It might slow him down. But what it is the knight takes very sure steps, but he always gets where he's going. Knights are actions, they're the doers. But he takes his time. He doesn't get there as fast as, definitely not as fast as the chariot, the chariot. You know, you can see chariot's going to get there, and it's almost like the rabbit and the hare, right? But the other card that you got with it, and this kept wanting to pop out, was Stuck in the Mud. And I was giggling because, again, when you're talking about the Knight of Pentacles, which is a slow-moving dude, and you talk about stuck in the mud, and then it says, you know, becoming stuck is sometimes the only way to trick yourself into slowing down and looking around you. The fact is that this is a sign that you need to shift your focus away from what you're doing and place your attention elsewhere. Struggling will only get you into even muddier places. So now is not the time to move forward, but to observe. Clarity about your circumstances will come a little later. Stop and find the joy in what you've been overlooking. Soon you will be out of the mud, but for now, be still and know that Spirit has a plan for you. So I know these seem a little bit contradictory, but what I'm seeing is that I'm really getting the feeling like you are stuck between these two energies. You're in a comfortable place. You're in a comfortable place, but you are not feeling real fulfilled with all of that comfort. It's almost like you're missing something. It's almost like you're denying your real self or your internal urges. It's like, okay, I'm a boar. Why can't I be free the way a boar is? Why do I have to tie myself down to all this civility? Well, because the civility gives me material comfort. It gives me emotional wealth. And if I leave that, if I, jump in my chariot, what if I don't get that? But you have, what it's telling you is the moonlight is telling you, you've got some kind of instinct to go, right? But in the same vein, you got an instinct to go, but then you also got an instinct to stop. You're kind of like stop, go, stop, go. It's like 1 minute you're full speed ahead, and then the next minute you're like, maybe I should slow down. Maybe I shouldn't do that just yet, So you're kind of got your foot on the gas and the brake,
interchangeably, and you're a little confused. You don't know where to go. But what it's telling me though is you might be, going, kind of teeter-tottering between the two. But it is telling me that your instincts are correct. If your instincts are telling you to go, you should go. If your instincts are telling you to stop, you should stop. But definitely, honor that primal side of yourself. Do not ignore your inner boar, Don't ignore that. The other thing that I see, and your advice that you got was discovering truth. And it says, you stand in the light of truth. So what that's telling me is that this adventure, and he almost looks like the knight, really, right? He does, the coloring of his tunic and things. So I think you really are on a journey. You're on a journey, and I think you are discovering the truth about your circumstances. Maybe you have been maybe you've been in a real stable job, but it's just really not fulfilling you, and you might want to do something different. Maybe you kind of feel like you're just at a place in your life, we all hit that stage in our life like, okay, I always wanted a house and now I have the house, but gosh, I've attained this, I've done this, what's next? What's next, right? And here, your chakra dice is you got the third, it's the solar plexus. This is not sacral, this is solar plexus. I get these confused sometimes. But the solar plexus and the number 4 it's stability. The number 4 represents the 4 pillars of stability. It also represents the 4 pillars of home and family. So here it really is reinforcing these cards that are holding you back. I think you have maybe obligations to family, or maybe you have obligations to, I also get kind of an expectations vibe. The way this guy is kind of looking out, it almost looks like he's judging a little bit. Either that or he's being kind of smug. You might have some kind of social pressures or some kind of status quo that you need to maintain, and it's hard, Maybe if you up and, if you quit your job and join the circus, everyone's going to think you've lost your mind, especially your family or those people who have expectations of you. And then that's what makes you stop. You think, okay, one minute you're all excited and gung-ho and okay, I want to do this because my heart is telling me to do it. And then the next minute you're like, oh, nope, full stop. What was I thinking? I'm not going to give up my 10 pentacles. That's stupid. But I do think that you're discovering a lot of truth. In this back and forth, you're discovering a lot of truth about yourself and about your current circumstances. You're analyzing, okay, what does this mean to me? And does it really feed my soul? Is it really what I want out of life? And the solar plexus, what it is it deals, when it's open, it deals with willpower. So when it's the center of your chest, it's right under your rib cage. It's like that glowing. If you've ever done planks, it's your core, right? It's the core of your body, and it really is the core. And what it's telling you is that it deals with willpower. And the Chariot is about willpower too. It's about, keeping, strength as well. But it is about, knowing what you want and sticking to it, even if you're going to get judged for it, even if you feel like, okay, it seems a little bit, out there. But I also kind of getting this balanced vibe, because you see there's two, if you can see this, there's 2 cards here, and they kind of balance out with the 2 cards here, and these are the full speed ahead, follow your gut. These are the be practical and go slow, and full stop. So I think it's kind of going in a circle, and it's 4 cards, 4 pillars. So I think this is willpower. I think these 2 energies are kind of like, this is kind of like the boar and this is kind of like the civility, and you're trying to find a good balance in between. And now, but the solar plexus, if it's ever blocked, it rules shame. It rules shame. And again, I just get this feeling like shame and guilt they always call them the Siamese twins, shame and guilt. And shame usually comes from something that it's an instinctual equilibrium. It's in our subconscious to feel shame because it wants you to correct something that could potentially be harmful, right? You feel shame if you do something that you really shouldn't have done. You feel guilt if you've done something that you shouldn't have done. But here, it's kind of a weird kind of parallel, because if you push down your desires to do something because you're afraid of what people will think, or you're afraid that it'll forfeit your security, then you feel shame in yourself for not being yourself, for not being authentic. Then, but then if you do, do the wild thing, sell your house, buy a Winnebago, and drive around the countryside, and everyone thinks you've lost your damn mind. It's like, then you feel shame for either letting people down or not living up to other people's expectations, or, if other people were influential in giving you this abundance, you don't want to let them down, right? But again, that willpower, that willpower is a delicate balance, and it's telling me that you really can balance it out. It's just, you do feel kind of stuck right now. It's almost like you want to jump on that chariot, but there is something holding you back. But right now, your advice is just discover the truth. Discover the truth, and work on your willpower. Work on your willpower. Get that in a healthy place. And don't deny what you really want to do in your heart. Don't deny that. Give that expression. You don't have to give up everything that but it is telling you that you do want to express that. There's something that you want to go for, and look at it from a truthful place and do it in a exert healthy willpower with it. But you'll get where you're going. This person's definitely on a journey, and he's going to get somewhere. So will the Knight of Pentacles always gets where he's going. All right, guys. Well, that was a really fun read. I enjoyed that. I always enjoy the D20, and it's always so exciting. We didn't have any adventures with Dude with No Muffler. That's another story if you've watched my other episodes. But I'm definitely going to do more of that moving forward. We're going to have fun. We're going to start. I'm learning more about that now. So, but we have an action-packed week. If you didn't get a chance to watch, yesterday I posted a fun Star Wars themed reading with playing cards. There were Star Wars playing cards, so we did kind of a fun read, and that was yesterday. And then tomorrow we're going to do, on every Saturday I do the weekly energy card reading. So I just kind of pull your energies and see what your week could possibly look like. But I'm so glad that you joined me, and definitely if you want to join me again, I'll be here again on January 20th, and I'll see you then. Bye.